Okay, so I'm at the Greenbelt. I'm gonna do a little sight fishing right now. I'm gonna see if I can't see any. I hope I have this camera angled right for the reel to actually be seen in my camera. If not, I'll go home, check it, make sure, then if it's not where I want it to be, I'll come back and make out another one. But this is just a test right now, and this algae is caked up. I wish that sun would just peek out just a little bit, enough for me to see underneath this algae out here. Well, with the algae being the way it is, it's perfect for frog fishing, but I'd like to be able to see the fish, but the water's so dark because of the shadow, I can't really see. There's a turtle.
That's a small turtle.
There was a fish right there. Alright, this is about to get interesting. Alright, so let's hope that I've got this all in the video here. So I kind of was glancing through YouTube trying to find a video to maybe see hand motions, rods, all that, like the motions that you would use. I couldn't find one. You can find them catching fish, just not actually showing hand motions on like retrieval and how you move your wrist and all that. So I'm going to attempt to make a video kind of showing how I use what I do, but of course it's like I say, it's all in my opinion, because this is the way I have had success catching fish with frogs and topwaters and stuff like that. So you don't have to take it to heart what I'm showing you. It's just a tip that I use. This is what I use, how I use it. So it's just an instructional video for beginners that want to try frog fishing for the first time or topwater fishing for the first time. Yeah. So we get casted out here. I'm gonna let it sit for a second. The first way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna take it sideways. I'm gonna pop it sideways, just gradually popping. Don't have to get too crazy with it, because if you think about a frog movement, he ain't gonna go too crazy. He's just gonna try to get his way through. So let's see what happens. Maybe we might get a blow up. I don't know. It'd be exciting if it did. It'd be crazy. So you just want to make it look like an actual frog trying to get through the pads here. Maybe one of these openings I get laid into, maybe there'll be a fish waiting. We could just hope, right? You want to get crazy with it, speed it up just a little bit. And you get in those little holes, pause it just for a second, and then go back at it again. Now, there are some ways that you can actually walk a frog, just kind of like you do with a spook, but it just depends on what type of frog it is. I can't remember what frog I used to have to be able to walk the dog with, but I'm just trying to give a tips video on literally like how I retrieve it as far as that goes. My hand motions, my I think I just seen a fish, or that was a turtle, one of the two. And it was a decent size, whatever it was. I just got a glance at it from my peripheral. So you're just wanting to make it literally do the movement of a frog would. That's it. Those movements, kind of like pulsing movements, all you want to do. You don't want to go too quick. You don't want to go too slow. You just want to go that medium speed. That's what I've had my success with fishing with frogs have been. And you know, you can get crazy with it, do a cadence type deal, do a 1, 2, 3, pop and let pause. However you really feel comfortable doing so. That little weight from the sprinkler is pushing my frog facing the other way. Now, from the sideways, I do that, and you can do it this way too. There's not really a difference as far as that. It's just what you're comfortable with fishing and the way you're comfortable doing it. It pretty much does the same process. It's the same process, but as far as that goes, but it's whatever you're really comfortable with using and how you're really comfortable with using it. My line was a little bit jacked up. And the reason I like to go sideways more than I do this way is because I feel I have better control of my hook set when it goes sideways than I do when I go up, because my hook set is kind of awkward, I guess you could say. As far as that goes, I go kind of up, like up to the side of my shoulder sometimes, but then other times I go completely sideways. I just can't control it sometimes. Now on top of the top waters too, this will probably be a really good time to throw some a flipping setup in this stuff. If you got a heavy weights, anything like that, like anything weedless, throw up in this junk and just do like you would do normal jig fishing. It will work just as good as well. I've had success with that. I'm not seeing too many fish, really, but like I said, this is more of a instruction type video, like a how-to video on the ways that I frog fish and I've had success with. Wow, I think I just got blew up on just a second ago. I just didn't pay attention. That'll happen though. Now, I would not suggest throwing a spook or anything with treble hooks in this junk, because all you're really going to be doing is cleaning that sucker up every cast, and it's a pain in the butt. I mean, you may get away with a buzz bait, maybe, but of course, I move it too fast, that sucker gets hit. There's a turtle right there. It just came up. Like I said, every little bit of those holes, kind of stop and pause in those, because you never know, there might be a bass waiting for him to hit that pocket. Once you hit that pocket, sometimes they'll drill them. So take your time, don't rush, because then you might get lucky. You might catch the big one. Everybody wants to catch that big one. Don't pass up your chance of catching a big one because you want to rush. Kind of take your time, ease up a little bit. If you're used to fast-paced fishing, it's going to be a little harder for you if you've never tried it. But just take that time, slow yourself down, slow your approach down. You don't have to speed through it. Give that bass enough time to react to, or give that bass enough time to actually see and commit to that bait. Give it enough time to sit there for them to actually see it and look up at it. Because that one time that you do, and it's the perfect spot, you'll be amazed. There's nothing like catching fish on a frog, or topwater at that. It's just so adrenaline rushing. It's just crazy. Now, as far as the rod and reel go, I use a 6711, but this one is a 641, and it works just as good. The reason you want a higher speed reel is just in case you're getting that nasty stuff like this and that bass pulls you under. You're not going to be, you want to be able to pull that bass out of that nasty stuff. And on top of the reel, I also back my stuff up with 65-pound braid up on my topwater with a frog. But my frog rod can also be my jig rod. That's just what I'm comfortable with. That's how I've fished for a long time. And this rod, I think, is a 7-foot, maybe a 6'6". Yeah, it's a 7-foot. 7-foot medium heavy. It's an Abu Garcia Vengeance. Love this rod. It was the last one they had at Walmart. I had 2 of them, but when I got to the counter, there was one of them had the tip broke off. So ended up just getting one. But it's matched up with the Black Max Abu Garcia reel, 641. 641s, it works just as good with me. I didn't have all the money in the world to fish, so I had to work with what I got. So coming up, I had the small reels, you know, not the high speed reels, but I've had success catching fish with them. So I stick with what I've caught fish on and I'm confident in, and that's what I use. 641 up to a 711 for my frog rod, my jig rod, and that's the reel and rod together. 7-foot, medium heavy. That's what I use all day, every day.